This is the silver that we've been waiting for a long time. Could this be the beginning of a new bull run for silver? Well, I don't think so yet. However, there's a lot to be hopeful for today. Let's celebrate silver's explosion as we explore. Yeah, dare I say it, silver's price exploded today. Even though it may not fully meet my criteria for an explosion, I think anything above 4% or 5% in one given day certainly would be an explosion for that day. Silver's price is up 3.42% today. A little bit under my radar, but I'm going to go ahead and use the word. I know I'll get criticized for it, but remember how I define a bull run or a massive move in one day in a 24-hour period is a movement of a greater than a 2%, certainly is notable for one day. That's a big move, up over $1.11 a day. Silver's trading now well above the key resistance at $33.67 an ounce, moments before the markets close. But that's not all. Before I get there, I want to remind you of channel sponsor Summit Metals. They are really proving themselves to be a low-cost leader, growing extremely fast. Proud to be associated with them. Check them out at summitmetals.com. But what the big news is we can tack onto the 3.42%, another 2.5% loss for gold today. That's right. Because, folks, for quite a while now, we have been trading above 100 to 1 between gold and silver. It is now below that, comfortably below that. It is now trading at 91.12. Now, I have said, and I continue to believe, that the gold to silver ratio matters less these days, but it just goes to show you that we very well may be starting to see gold being overvalued somewhat. Now, I don't think it's by a whole lot, by the way. I believe we're going to start to see the solidification of new support for gold. But nonetheless, this metal indeed has been on fire lately, and recently, as I posted in a previous video earlier today, which I'm going to link to at the end screen of this video, gold reached a remarkable milestone that I have not seen anybody else talk about. So check that video out. And it's also one of the reasons why we might see the price move back down and continue to move down, but I don't think that's going to be by a whole lot, honestly. But gold is trading down $85.40, down 2.53% to $3,296.30. The other metals went up as well too. That's a hint as to what the reason behind silver's price moving up so much, but they're not moving up nearly as much as silver is right now. It's pretty amazing. A fourth time in 5 sessions we've seen it from the rebound from $30.18 that is held. And we see here what's happening. It's gained in 4 of the last 5 sessions and appears set to register another positive weekly close. But whether it sustains this upside will depend on how the market digests economic and geopolitical risk as we head into next month. But the tariff noise and rate pressure lend silver short-term support. The ongoing standoff between the United States and China has continued to create safe haven demand for metals. Talks between Washington and Beijing remain stalled, but China has warned of retaliation if tech restrictions expand with no breakthrough in sight. But I think this is something that is quite powerful to see the movement of metals start to increase here, with silver now taking the lead. Now, also with the idea that Trump is trying to kind of tamp down concerns about what is going to be happening with tariffs. In other words, it's 145% right now, but likely that is going to fall away, and we're going to see them pull back somewhat after negotiations take root here and they come into and settle on a deal. And he really is, in his talk about not firing the Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, also is positive news for the markets in general. as the Dow Jones Industrial Average has gone up another 400 points, so has the Nasdaq. The S&P also is up, and the dollar index is strengthening now. It is back to almost 100. It is at 99.89 right now. So there's where the dollar is, but gold down today. I think another correction, and I think also silver is moving as a commodity right now in positive territory. Because see, silver really doesn't participate nearly as much in terms of industrial use, and whereas silver has over 10,000 uses, no question about it. So as you can see here in this display, we have silver noted here in pairs, and I think in a way it kind of gives you an idea that, hey, it has two roles. One as a precious metal and monetary metal, and another one as an industrial metal. Most of that silver, by the way, comes out of Mexico. So there's that. So that's the dual role that we have for silver. Coins, rounds, and bars. Bars are where they are refined and used for industrial applications. But this is quite something else. Now, the momentum for silver price remains bullish in the near term. Upside strength must clear the overhead resistance to avoid another rejection. And that resistance sits at $33 an ounce. We are now comfortably above that, but it's only for a short amount of time. With the $1.11 increase today, what does tomorrow hold? Well, who knows? We're all giddy today, but we know what happens from time to time. It's got to maintain that. We must see this breakout that would likely open the way towards the $33.25 mark, which we passed as well. The next stop is $34 an ounce. I think in a way it would be better for silver to hang on to the gains above the $33.25 mark for a couple of days before rising any more. And so, because if we get that support, it's going to fall back. Then the next support line, given how fast it has moved today, is at $32.42. And then we're going to be testing just above $32 an ounce. So, there's a lot of different areas that it could come back to very, very quickly. But as we see tensions start to ease a little bit, especially now there's rumblings of more negotiations for what could tamping down the war between Russia and Ukraine. That is going to be good news if we see that happen. What about the Federal Reserve? In next meeting, will they lower rates? If they were to lower rates, that's going to be very good for silver and gold, I think. And I think especially silver, maybe not as much for gold, but this is the beginning now, folks. All the metals up except for gold, retesting support and falling back a bit here. And we're going to keep an eye on it, but it is quite intriguing to see the movement of the metals here in this market, especially with silver. A time to celebrate. Now, cautious optimism is always something that I look forward to, but I do think overall, by the end of this year, we're going to see the economy start to normalize and move in a positive direction, which means that I don't know that we're going to see a recession. If we do, it might be short-lived. And again, that's just my hunch, but we'll see what happens. The economy really is more resilient than you think here in America. And so I think that, that's a good sign. And that's going to be good for silver's price, I think, because more demand for silver comes from more demand for electronics, which we're seeing more and more use of silver in electronics these days. So we can celebrate this price explosion for today, but cautiously optimistic because of how fast it moved up in one given day. And there's going to be a time where we see some consolidation happen there and profit taking, which we see a lot more for silver. And you think about it, it makes sense. Sadly, there is the ETFs, the derivatives market, but most of this is from ETF demand. They're seeing opportunity here in silver. Then there's profit taking. Think about it. If you had $10,000 invested into the SLV, and I use that word because people want to take profits, so I think the word is apropos here with investment, as opposed to $10,000 in gold. I mean, you can see the ratio there. There's much more potential profit and loss in that regard. So I would not be surprised if we see some profits in the next couple of days, especially if it stays where it is or goes up from here. So be prepared for that consolidation. And by the way, that does not count as price suppression. That's natural market forces making their way. And the psychology of the markets is extremely powerful, folks. There's no question about that. We have to understand that and be realistic about what's happening with silver in that regard. In the physical form there, you cannot rely on emotion. You must hold fast, stand strong and true with silver. That's what it's about. So there you have it. There's your market report for today. An amazing day for silver. The ratio falling below 100. Very cool. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. I like to give you the latest news and analysis in the world of precious metals. So if you don't mind subscribing to the channel, I would appreciate it, and it might help you too because you'll get the latest news. I post daily content. I am the most active precious metal channel on this platform, or any platform, honestly. And so this is the place to go for the latest news and content, and I appreciate all of you who have been subscribed and watched the videos daily. It means a lot. So with that, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.